I'm going for the sound of pure, unadulterated power. Every emotion, every thought, every experience, every sensation, every fear, every joy, every clarity, every conclusion, every up, every down, all extruded and concentrated into one thick syrup of super life force feeling and then psychically amplified by the celebratory spirit of glorious partying. And
That makes sense.
if that does not describe this
man.
album to a T,
Oh my
then
god.
this is the one that I am very excited about. Because this album is wild. You're Not Alone is the fifth studio album by American musician Andrew W.K, released on March 2nd, 2018 through Sony Music. I'm really excited to hear what y'all have to say because I went through some ups and downs where like when I start listening to it, I'm like, okay, this is a bit much. But once I'm like 4 tracks in, I'm like into it. Like he fucking draws me in. It's like all of a sudden I'm like, fuck yeah, let's party, dude. It's like I have no interest until like you're 4 songs deep, and then it's like, well, I guess he's right, dude. I guess that's just what we got to do.
I feel like if I were in Anneka's shoes, I feel disrespected. I'm just confused about my level of enjoyment. Like I usually have my like best tracks, worst tracks, the kind of general thoughts. I had to add a separate category for songs that just confused me / I found hilarious. And that's where most of the ones I put went. Sonically, like I mean, he just goes all out like arena rock, just a wall of sound that he's trying to hit you with. I don't mind that. I kind of like the sound. Songs like Music is Worth Living For, I Don't Know Anything, Keep On Going, and the You're Not Alone, the title track. I really enjoy. I enjoy the instrumentals, the guitars, the vocals. But man, what the frick are those interludes?
Oh, they're crazy, dude.
Life is very intense, but that doesn't mean it's bad. Understanding this is what partying is all about. That's the funniest thing I've ever heard in a song, and it's entirely not meant that way.
I feel bad for laughing. Like that's the issue, right? It's like sometimes it's funny and you laugh, and other times someone's being really sincere and it's funny but you can't laugh, and that's this album.
Party Mindset is a track straight off Songs to Ruin Your Public Image too. It is now added to that playlist. I found the lyric that I think Parker was talking about the other night. It's don't need no friends to get me by. I couldn't figure out that scene. No means are justified. Just a one-man party machine. I don't know. He's talking about some child on The Party Never Dies. I don't know who that is.
That's so weird.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't get it.
Is he talking about Jesus? What?
That's what it sounds like, and then it's like once it gets past that line, it's like it was like Jesus that he's talking about. Jesus.
And then he just ends the song with The Party Never Dies.
The male vocal choir is so funny to me. It just guys being dudes like, we won't give up on you. And then Total Freedom sounds like a CCM song. Sonically and lyrically, I'm like, what the frick? Like, I really enjoy this album, not for any of the reasons he intends. It's just so aggressively positive that it's just funny to me, given how that like works with the sound of it well and his persona, given his party mindset. Wow. What an album.
God of partying. I'm with Adam on this one. I'm going to echo a similar sentiment. Ellis, what were you thinking giving this album to Anneka as a suggestion?
I hadn't heard it before.
That makes sense. That makes
it so much funnier.
It does. I'm really glad you did it because it's gonna give a lot of fun comments, but like, man,
put into the dirt
with your demons. What?
Oh yeah. Partying with Satan. We'll start with the highlights. All right. I think the power of partying is partying is just an interlude. My bad. Music Was Worth Living For is perfectly fine song. Nothing wrong with that one. Ever corny, Again, definitely a little corny, but like
by comparison, it's not.
Almost all of them are corny. By comparison, that one's fine. Ever Again, I think is actually a pretty decent song. Some of the lyrics are a little corny, but like I definitely really like the instrumentals on that one. All in all, I would listen to Ever Again. I think I Don't Know Anything has a super catchy chorus, and all in all, I'd give it a thumbs up. And then I should just turn the album off. I should just stop there. I should hit the power button and not listen to any more of it. Because
park your car,
park your car, get out, leave your phone in there. It's over. The interludes are hot garbage. They sound like an ex-nihilist trying to convince himself that there's meaning to life, but not really believing it entirely. It's such a weird juxtaposition to have this really like, I'll put it in air quotes, but like philosophical like approach to an album, and then to end it, it's like if your philosophy teacher got up and like was talking about all like philosophy and stuff, and he ended it with, and that's why you should get drunk this Saturday, and you'd be like, what? That doesn't make any sense. And that's how the interludes like read to me, and how most of the album after the interludes reads to me. Party Mindset kind of felt like an 80s rock song to me, so that one's still okay for me. Party Never Dies is trash. It's just bad. And then I could keep going on, but I don't think, like, The Devil's on Your Side is like catchy but just weird. The messaging of this album is just odd. It's just really weird. I don't hate a lot of the tracks. I enjoy quite a few of them, honestly, but then there's everything else.
Okay, so I want to give 2 comments. First, Ellis, thank you for suggesting this album. I appreciate it a whole lot.
It is a dank album. It is rife with some memes.
Yeah. Okay, second, this is the first time that I actually used like the playlist for some reason, and I'm glad I did, because the transition from Boys Will Be Boys, like this super like intense like introspective song on society's problems, into party is the funniest thing in the world. It's so funny.
At the end, it rickrolls you for listening to the album because it's never going to get you off the train.
So there's that. This is super sick in both the right reasons and just the absolute wrongest reasons. I adore this things on both ends of the spectrums. I'm not gonna lie. It's just kind of like, you can't deny that these instrumentals are fire. Like, this dude can write a guitar riff, right? Like, it's sick. All the instrumentals are so sick. Like, they're so powerful. It's like you said, Dragon Force. I like this word, Dragon Forces, dude. Yeah, like music is worth living for. Like, it's just sick, like super powerful guitars, and like that. I can't even go that high when he does them. Music is worth living. I can't even try to get that high, and it's just so sick, but so funny. It's not supposed to be funny. I'm gonna agree that Ever Again is honestly like pretty sick. Like, I'd listen to that again. The feeling of being alive. Yeah, agree. That's what partying is all about. Single funniest thing I think I've ever heard in my life. It is so good. And right into Party Mindset, which has graduated into a Songs to Ruin Your Public Image 2 playlist member. It's just, I can keep on going. I don't think I like The Devil's on Your Side very much. I like Total Freedom.
It's a weird song. Like, lyrically, it's really weird. It's kind of catchy, but lyrically, I have no clue what he's talking about. Is the devil supposed to be a good guy or a bad guy in this song? I don't know.
I think it's like, I think the idea is that like the devil is like challenging you to overcome, I guess. It's like the obstacles that he puts in your path are like a good thing. He talks about the kings trying to help you and him tying the king's hands. I don't know, dude. Mm-hmm. I got no clue. My brain was off.
I really like basically every instrumental on this record. And then whenever you, like, it's like the opposite side of the Ghost main coin, where it's just like fire, and then you listen to it even a little bit, and it's just like, oh, wow. But it's like just like a positive wow instead of like a negative wow, you know? Total Freedom, yeah, it does sound kind of CCM, but I kind of like it. It's just like a nice change of pace.
I don't mind it. I just remarked that that's what it sounded. Yeah. I enjoy it.
Yeah, I agree. The ending is a little weird. Like, you can just end on Beyond Oblivion. That's a great closing, like, instrumental. It's just so bombastic. It's sick. I don't know what to say. It's sick.
Yeah, I didn't even know that there was a line about Jesus. I had no clue. I get to like the first.
There's multiple.
There's several.
There is. I know that it starts talking about like the God of music or something in the first couple tracks, but once I'm a couple tracks in, my mind's blank. I feel like this is like. I feel like it's so sincere. It's like impressive. It's sincere, single-minded, head empty. I think that, you know, the quote that he gave is like so on point, because once we're 4 tracks in, I'm into it and I have no clue what's going on. I enjoy it on both ends of the spectrum as well. Anneka, bring us home.
All right. So yeah, we started with a really nice like Party If You Want To album. And we get to this. You don't have a choice. I felt listening to this like I was back in college being talked down to by a frat boy who knew more about my major than me. And I got that vibe throughout the whole thing. And I know the intention was to be positive, and I tried really hard to take it that way. But it wasn't particularly uplifting to me. I decided on the second listen round that it would be much better if it were written in the context of D&D. So if I'm looking at this as the party never dies, it's like a really bad DM. So yeah, I think the only song that I can say that I liked, like 100%, was Total Freedom. Because it didn't feel like it was trying as hard. Fun time listening to it with Thomas the second time.
Yeah. You enjoyed it a lot more when I was commenting and we could kind of like make fun of it together than the first time you listened to it and you were like in the kitchen and you like took your headphones off and you were like, "What am I listening to? This is awful." I think if we hadn't listened to it today, you would have given it like a 0. I think for me, I'll go ahead and score it. I'm gonna give it a 5. It's not a 5, but I don't know if I like it or not. Like, that's where I'm at. I might like it. It might be a 6. It might be a 4. I don't know. It's a 5.
Hey, you got several weeks to marinate on it, you know? It can go down. I mean, you know, maybe come a couple months when we're reviewing 20 more albums. Yeah, you're not in the party mood, dude.
I'm going to give this one a 15 out of 10, but 9 of those are negative points. So it's a 6 out of 10 on a real scale, and then a negative 9 out of 10 on an ironic scale. Because I love this thing ironically. It's pretty good.
Dude, I'm gonna give this my actual score could fluctuate anywhere from like a 4 to an 8. I think I'm gonna give it a 7 right now. I'm feeling a 7 for this album with the mood I'm in. Also a negative 9. This is the largest differential. It's like the most highest magnitude score album I think I've ever heard on both ends of the spectrum. Big fan.
Definitely the album, my most enjoyable ironic album ever.
I am on a 7 as well. Anneka?
I'm gonna give it a cute little 3.
Fair enough.
I legit, all I know was it got a score from Anthony Fantano, and I was like, okay, I'll get around to it. And I was like, well, I mean, I heard it's pretty positive in both messaging and in, you know, the scoring. So maybe I'll suggest it to Anneka. We'll see where it goes. And then it went there.